old jobs or lower class jobs, growing the entire economy, because when you grow the supply of labor, labor is a resource. When that supply grows, your entire economy grows. And then you try to allocate from the big winners of that, like people that own businesses and pay less wages, you try to allocate some of that money to other natives in the economy. And in these kinds of scenarios, you get an economy that's growing literally for everybody and helping literally everybody, right? And you can kind of apply that same kind of mindset. Now, that's really idealistic, and you need policy that does that, but you can do similar things with other things as well. Like, take a black community, right? Well, black community, North Omaha in my city, is very shitty, right? Say that we do some big investment that gets everybody there really fucking educated. Now, that's money that comes from the wealthier people that they have to pay, but when that black community to the north gets really educated, now they're gonna have higher wages, which gives them higher purchasing power, which means there's gonna be a greater demand for better housing, so construction companies can move in and build more buildings, other people can move in and offer higher quality products. Maybe if you sell fancy dresses or fancy furniture, now you have a new customer base because they're educated and earning more money. So these are ways in which everybody wins. Economics never has to be a zero-sum game. You can grow entire economies where every part of the economy is winning, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but in that hyper-specific example, well, not hyper-specific, sorry, that requires a big amount of immigrants to come in, as you.
Yeah, but we have a lot of immigrants in the United States, yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot now that the system is trying to support, but it's not indicative of the amount that's coming in. I can argue that immigration rates for that to work would need to rise significantly for what you just said.
Oh, but they don't need to rise significantly. We have like a decent amount of immigrants, or a lot of immigrants in the United States. We have a fuck ton. Actually, do we have the most in the world or the second most behind Russia? I'm not sure. We have a lot of immigrants in this country. I mean, we seem to be getting a lot more, but I mean, immigration is always something that you need to grow your supply of labor, especially in the Western world, since people are no longer having children. Bolstering that supply of labor is really, really, really important, because otherwise you don't have people working these lower class jobs. When you go to really highly educated countries like Germany, I mean, nobody wants to be a bus driver there. Like, these are people that spend a ton of their fucking life going to school and getting these really high level jobs, or getting these really high level degrees for high level jobs, right? You don't want your people there working these jobs. This is what you bring in immigrants to do.
I feel like you're starting a different argument in the sense that saying all immigrants are destined for low-paying jobs.
When they don't have to be destined for low-paying jobs.
When I can speak for Australia, when I can say most of our doctors are Indian and Chinese.
Sure, that's a different type of immigration. You're talking about highly skilled labor coming in from India and whatnot. Sure, because they can make more money in your country. That's a different type of immigration,
right.
But sure.
But with that, it still requires there, just because you have more people in a country that are working doesn't mean that there's more money in the economy. The amount of money in the economy compared to the amount of people working are two different numbers. I know that at fucking surface sounds really stupid, but if there's no more money being created, then it has to come from somewhere else.
Well, that's the idea behind growing your economy. Yeah, you need to constantly be growing your economy, sure.
But how do you grow it? How do you grow it through diluting it?
You're not diluting it. When more people come in, I mean, you've got more people that are buying things, more transactions that are happening, more people that are earning money selling goods and services. Like, I don't understand. What do you mean by diluting it?
Well, you just said that most immigrants are coming in for low-skilled labor, which means that would dilute the market and ultimately drop the price of what you can pay for low-skilled labor.
Yeah, it drops the price of what you'll pay for low-skilled labor because you're increasing the supply of it. But if you drop the price of low-skilled labor, that also means that business owners then are saving more money on labor, right? So you can either drop the price of goods that those low-skilled laborers are making. So if you're a family and now you have to pay less on a certain good, you've got more money to pay to another kind of good. So maybe those people start making more money as a result. Somebody that makes some kind of luxury good that's got a very high elasticity of demand. You know, or if the businesses try to keep all the money, then you tax them a little bit more, and then you distribute that through the economy in other ways. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like I don't think there's a dilution as long as your economy is growing. Now, if your economy is stagnating or something, then yeah, that's really bad.
But then under the liberal narrative, if people are saving money through cheap labor, wouldn't that be going to the 1%, not so much back into the economy?
Yeah, it is. It is immigration is wealth redistribution away from poorer people to wealthier people. That's why I'm saying you would have to enact some sort of tax policy to get back some of that money and get it back into the economy.
But you'd never be getting the full value of the money back. And
wait, why would you not be getting? Why not?
Because the amount of money you save, the amount of money that the government or whomever would make back on the tax is not indicative of how much money they're actually saving through the labor.
I don't think I agree. I feel like we have a fundamental difference of opinion. I guess like it sounds like, or I guess like when I listen to what you're saying, it sounds like you think that like there is a finite amount of money available in the economy, and that you only have so much money to go around, and that when more people come in, there's more people going after the same dollars. Is that?
Technically, yes, until there's more money created. If we're talking at this exact moment in time, yes, there is a certain amount of money in the economy
Yeah, but that's
until there's
yeah.
more
So
debt
that
created.
sure, and I think
But
that's a common misconception. But economies grow. There's way more money in the economy now than there was, 10 years ago, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago. Like economies can grow and get more money circulating through them.
economies require debt to grow. If there's immigrants and stuff who can't get into debt, then there is no economy to grow. They're then just taking money from somewhere else that already exists.
I mean, I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but even if they're taking money in the form of wages, they're also creating a product in the form of whatever work they're doing. And typically, wages are going to be less than the amount of value created. That's why you pay people jobs, right? So that your profit is the margin of them selling their labor versus you exploiting their labor for whatever you're producing.
So just reading something in chat.
Like if you're willing to pay somebody $5 an hour, you're not just giving that money away, right? You're exploiting the labor of that person, and then you're converting it into some sort of profit, right? That's why you pay wages, to make a profit. That's where your margins are.
Yes, I understand that, but ultimately, what it would do is my whole point was from what you said about the put policy in and then get it back.
Mm-hmm.
What ultimately would happen is that it's not indicative that the tax system, whatever, would make this amount of money back these people have made on the cheap labor. And in the end, the 1% grows and the cheap labor demographic stays in the same brackets.
I mean, I don't think I necessarily agree with that, and it doesn't seem like history points to that, right? Because standards of living have raised all throughout the West, and they have continued to raise over and over again. We're still paying cheap prices for products that we import from other countries, and I don't know. It seems like for the most part, the economy seemed to be growing in all the Western world. So I don't know where you get that. Like, where is your empirical evidence? I guess I'm not trying to make it sound like really harsh or whatever. Like, where is like the empirical evidence of immigrants like destroying economies or having really negative impacts on economies? It doesn't seem to happen.
I'm not saying that immigration fucks up your economy or causes it to crash or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that when you're talking about the US off the current stats, where you already have a high amount of people in low socioeconomic standards and immigrants and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
why are we in this conversation? Why are we accepting that those people that are there already don't need to be doing anything? We'll just get more immigrants in now and then get them to fill that position.
Well, wait, what do you mean? People that are here are doing things already. What do you mean?
But the whole basis of your argument just came off getting immigrants in and just accepting the amount of welfare that's there now. Or am I misconstruing you?
Wait, hold on, I'm confused. What exactly do you mean? I'm just saying that immigration can grow an economy if your policy reflects reality. Is all I was saying.
Yep. Hang on, I just thought about what you said. I fucked up. My bad. Yep. I get you. My mistake. I'm not saying, but the ultimate of like what I'm saying is that immigration isn't bad for an economy,
Mm-hmm.
but if there's ever legislation there to try and help the immigrants or to allow for more cheap labor, it's not necessarily indicative that the economy is going to grow at a reasonable rate to the amount of immigration that you've accepted.
Yeah, I guess it's not necessarily. So you just have to be careful on what you're watching, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I understand a little bit more. One of the things you're talking about, one of the things that is very important to keep in mind is that you don't have too much welfare for people coming in. You have to control that very carefully, because if you're paying out too much welfare, then yeah, it's definitely possible that the welfare benefits that you pay out exceed the value created by these laborers. Yeah, that's entirely possible. It's a very possible thing, and something that you have to be mindful of.
Is there different standards of welfare there compared to immigrants and citizens and whatnot?
Oh yeah, welfare in the United States is typically much, much, much lower in these European countries. Yeah, for sure.
What is the? I guess I can just Google this. I just want to see how much your welfare actually pays. I don't know if these numbers are right, but is this saying that someone would get? No, that can't be right. Well, it says here anyway that a single person would get 430,000. No, that's not right. That's not fucking right at all. Oh, that's how much the government spends. Okay, a total of 2.7 a year, 2.7 trillion in welfare a year. Does that seem like a right number in total?
Maybe. Though, I mean, welfare spending is what we spend the majority of our budget on, I believe.
Is there a circumstance where someone can be working a full-time job in the US but still be on food stamps?
Oh, yes.
Welfare payments vary by state, but the average family of four in the United States can receive as much as 900 per month,
Yeah, it's possible.
whereas a single person can earn 200 a month. Yeah, our welfare, I think, is about. I think it's about 380 a week.
Oh, wow.
But mind you, a packet of cigarettes is $30.
Sure.
I'm not going to ask you who you voted for, but you voted this year, yeah?
Yeah. I voted for Hillary. I don't care. I'll say it. It's pretty embarrassing, but...
It's not a taboo subject over there to ask who someone voted for.
Maybe, but I'm pretty open about everything.
Okay, it's just kind of pretty taboo here to ask someone who they voted for. That's
Yeah,
all.
it is in the United States generally, yeah.
Oh yeah, that mosque that got shot up in Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
What have you heard about it?
Wasn't it? I haven't verified any of this. I feel uncomfortable repeating it because I could be wrong, but I heard that it was two white nationalist, anti-feminist people. I don't know if that's true or not, but I saw people talking about it in chat. I haven't gone and looked up who it was yet.
Yeah, that's generally what I've seen as well. It's just being a far right dude.
Or it was just one guy? I'm sorry, one dude.
Wasn't it two?
I don't know. Oh,
I've-
New York Post.
I fucking read that it was two a day ago or so.
I thought I read two initially, but I guess it's only one. Depicted as a Moroccan Muslim. He's a white nationalist. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, it's a very diluted statement. Are you a bit skeptical when reading any sort of news over there at the moment?
It depends on what you're reading. You just have to know which sources are good, and then you're pretty okay.
All right, well, I'm going to name some news sources from there, and you tell me whether they're right-leaning or left-leaning, all right?
Sure,
So-
it's a
so
little
I
bit
know.
deeper than that, but okay.
What do you mean it's deeper?
Just name some and I'll explain.
ABC.
I don't know. They seem pretty neutral to me.
CNN.
Is left-leaning, but fact-based.
So that'd be one of your more reputable sources?
Easily, yes, for sure.
Fox.
Is right-leaning, but fact-based.
I don't know whether you guys have an American branch there, but Sky News.
I don't think so. I've watched a few interviews on it, but it looks like garbage to me. but I don't know enough about it to really say that. I know that there's a British version of Sky News. There might be an American version. I'm not sure.
And fuck, what is it? MSNBC. That's the one.
Left leaning, but fact based.
I've really got to think now to. I know this is extending the meme a bit. New York Times.
Left leaning, but fact based. New York Times, Washington Post, Huffington Post gets, I think, a little bit more out there, but the New York Times and the Washington Post are two decent, reputable magazines, multiple Pulitzer Prize winning publications, generally fact based, generally a little left leaning. Most media is okay in the United States. You can dig, if you start to dig a little, you'll find some bullshit. But yeah, I don't know.
What about Breitbart?
Is not fact based. It's sensationalist, very right leaning. I'm not joking. Like when I say fact based, people always say that everybody has a leaning, but there's a difference between reporting on bullshit and making up things versus having a slant. So Fox News is an example of Fox News is definitely a right-leaning news publication, but Fox News is fact-based. You're never going to read something on Fox News that's just completely factless, like completely made up or invented. Same thing with CNN, same thing with MSNBC. It'll just never happen. Or the Washington Post, the New York Times. Breitbart will post things that are just factually incorrect. Things that are just plain wrong, headlines that are deliberately or insanely misleading, and they never do retractions because they don't really care if they're right or wrong. They have no journalistic integrity.
I get you.
The one of the ex CEOs of Breitbart, Steve Bannon, is the lead on the transitional team of Donald Trump and is being involved in many parts of the government right now. It's pretty scary.
That is a little bit fucked up.
Very fucked up, yeah.
Put some thought into it. How do you feel about Trump's latest quote Muslim ban?
Horrible. Everything about Trump so far has been horrible. Everybody should feel horrible. Nobody should feel like they won or got anything out of the latest Muslim ban either. It didn't address terrorism. It didn't even really address Muslims. It didn't address anything. It was just completely arbitrary and completely ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not speaking factually here. I'm just speaking off devil's advocate side for this. But is it just that Trump is being so heavily televised at the moment, or is it just that he's actually made a lot of executive orders for his time in Parliament so far?
It's hard to say because he could be front loading them, like he'll do a lot now and not as many later, but he has done quite a bit so far. If he carries on at this rate, he'll have done more than any other president in the history of all of the United States. But again, we're right at the beginning of his term, so that could just be front loaded. Maybe he won't do as many, once he's calmed down a little bit. It's hard to say.
Do you watch any of those fucking people like Alex Jones or that fucking, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, the Turkish dude,
the Young Turks or whatever?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that these people serve any valuable function in media.
Yeah, no, me neither. I think they're irrational as fuck.
It's not so much they're irrational, but they're just taking news, they're interpreting it for you, and then they're giving you their interpretation. And I don't think that's very healthy. I think that most of the news they talk about is simple enough that you should be able to read it and digest it on your own, or at least get it from less biased sources. The Young Turks and I don't put the Young Turks on the same level as InfoWars, because I think InfoWars is a whole nother beast of illegitimacy. But even so, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of getting like such a heavily opinionated version of the news from somebody. I don't think that's a healthy thing.
At least Alex Jones makes it entertaining.
Yeah, he does that.
What did Adam say to Eve the night before Christmas?
I don't know what.
It's Christmas Eve.
Wow, nice fucking meme, dude.
Oh, that fucking dude that came on here and fucking debated with you about the US election hacking shit. You know he's another streamer, yeah?
Glink?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Without saying too much, because I don't know if there's some sort of streamer's etiquette, but like, how did you feel about his general disposition to you in that conversation?
I mean, he was kind. I think was he one of the ones I got a little heated with somebody recently. Probably more so than I should have. I don't remember if it was him or not though.
Yeah, I think you called him a retard.
Okay, yeah, that was him then. Yeah, I got really heated. But that was over a different debate, not the Russia stuff. I don't think.
What does either side got to get out of this whole hacking thing? Because it works two ways for me. It's either the left can say it's rigged, or Trump can get himself thrown out over it if it proves it's true. Like, who really ultimately wins from them investigating this?
Um,
Not rigged, or that like results were changed, or if I just completely not interpreted the story right.
I don't think anybody necessarily wins. It's not a good thing. I don't think. What do you mean? I don't understand. I guess.
Is the whole argument about like people changing the election outcome?
No, the argument is about whether or not Russia was influencing the outcome of our election via what would you call it, sedition? Things like the current claims are that Russia was involved in hacking the DNC's email and that Trump's campaign was collaborating with Russia to do so.
I get you. Okay. Do you think it's true?
I don't know. It's really hard to say. Trump doesn't do himself any favors. I'll put it that way.
My biggest problem with Trump, like, even though my opinion's null and void because I can't vote over there, he's too binary on his opinions. It's too black or white. He's not very. I hear a lot of people say there should be no compassion in politics and affairs, but I think there are some topics that should, and he doesn't have that for anything.
That's kind of in the United States. That's kind of what politics in general has become: very binary, very right, wrong, black and white, Democrat, Republican. It's kind of how things have moved here.
So can I just assume there's no more rational people in the country anymore, just because like your two representatives were Hillary and Trump, which both were the figureheads of two radical movements?
Hillary actually wasn't the figurehead of a radical movement. Her movement was actually very establishment. That's probably why she lost.
Did you think? I don't. I was saying it for a long time. If the Democrats picked Hillary as their candidate, I thought there was no chance that she could win. If it was Bernie versus Trump, I think Bernie would have wiped the fucking floor with Trump.
Oh, there's definitely a chance that Hillary could have won, but Hillary is probably the only candidate that could have lost to Trump. Yeah, the Democrats fucked up really, really, really hard. They have no one to blame but themselves for it either.
And how did the how come Hillary was the candidate anyway? How come it wasn't Bernie? What's the whole due process there for that?
Because Hillary is the queen. This wasn't even supposed to be a real election. It was just another coronation, kind of like when it was her running in 2008 before Obama showed up. The Clintons are just probably one of the most powerful political machines in the world, and the Democratic Party, the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, were all behind them the entire way, helping them with preferential news coverage and giving them all the full support and faith of the Democratic Party and whatnot. So.
Do you? Well, I feel like Bernie and Trump weren't all that different on things, just besides social reform and maybe a little bit of
Oh no, they were
economic reform.
very different. But they were both very anti-establishment. They had some superficial similarities. No, they had some real similarities, but they're very, 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 very different in policy.
Yeah, it just seems so strange to me that people that can be so anti-establishment in their own way can harvest two completely different groups of people. Do you think there was a majority, well, not a majority, but a fair amount of Bernie supporters that might have jumped on Trump's boat?
I don't think so, but it's
Daily
possible.
reminder that the famous Johnny has posted Peppy emote for 598 times this month. Whoa, dude.
What are those little fucking crystal things that people donate or send or whatever?
You mean the Twitch bits or whatever?
Yeah, what are they? Are they a currency or?
Um, yeah, it's like a Twitch currency, I think.
I got a bit of a personal question. I have to answer it if you don't want to. It's not about your dick size, dude.
Oh, phew. Well, I mean, that's not
Um,
very personal anymore, so, but go ahead.
that was the meme.
Gotcha.
When someone donates to you, does that count as taxable income?
Yes. The worst kind of taxable income, too. But yeah.
Well, okay. So, what's your preferred method of accepting money?
I mean, it's all the same. How you pay taxes on it is all the same.
How's the stock market going?
Good. You have faith in the American markets? It's always good.
You were on maybe you can confirm this or whatnot. I kind of knew who you were back on Justin TV a long, long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? I can't remember what the convention is. It's called Black Hat, the ethical hacking one or whatever.
What? I think you're calling about White Hat?
White Hat, or is it
What?
called DEF CON? Whatever. It's an ethical hacking convention or whatnot.
Oh, yeah, sure, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember what they're called, but I know what you're talking about.
Have you seen the presentation? I think it was someone that worked at Justin TV, at least gave a presentation on how he rid out the stock market on spammers in the early 2000s.
No, I don't think I did, no.
Well, essentially, all he was doing was he was keeping track of the stocks that people on mailing lists were getting spammed to buy and sell, and they were all penny stocks, so stocks under $1. And to his surprise, people actually buying and selling these stocks, and they were jumping up 200-300%. And he was just observing this and made quite a fair amount of money just off doing that.
Okay, nice. That's cool.
Someone in chat just said that it might have been a Twitch guy, but I don't know. It seems like something you might be interested in if you want to check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe.
What was the last anime you watched?
All the way through? I don't know, it's been a long time. Probably Steins Gate.
Same, dude. Same here.
Oh, nice.
Steins Gate was a really good meme.
Yeah, it was a pretty good meme.
But what if I told you I am John Titor?
Oh, shit, dude. That would be quite the meme. Wait, how old are you?
22.
Oh, you weren't even fucking old enough to remember that shit. Fuck you.
Did you read it when it was current?
I want to say I did. Wasn't it in the mid to... No, it was like late 90s. I don't know. I might have been reading things that had... No, yeah, I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, no, it was in the early 2000s. Yeah. I remember when it was coming out. I mean, I didn't follow it super closely. It was usually like recaps and shit afterwards, but yeah.
I was the reason why I know about it is because I used to follow this YouTube channel that used to upload all the old Art Bell
Coast
stuff.
to Coast. They talk about it sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what led me to that. Then eventually led me to Steins Gate.
Oh, that's interesting. Nice.
So what do you reckon? Is he a real time traveler?
No, of course not. None of the predictions ended up coming true. The Civil Wars and the United States breaking up and everything. A lot of people speculated that it was probably just some old Apple employee, and that's why they had that information about the IBM being able to decode a certain type of base level language or whatever. But that was the only piece of information he had.
You don't see any civil war breaking out now, do you, at all? With, you know, all these protests, you don't see
Well,
any civil unrest starting.
unfortunately, he fucked up, and his predictions were very specific to the year. Most people, like Nostradamus, when they make predictions or biblical predictions, are usually very vague for a reason, so that you can always say that they're going to come true or whatever. But his were tied to specific years and elections and Olympic events that didn't really come true. So no, he's pretty much completely debunked.
Was there anything that just stood out to you
No,
that you remember from it?
not really. I thought it was a pretty cool story, but
It's a fucking awesome story, man.
yeah.
I know there's probably turning the tables, but do you want to ask me anything?
Fuck, dude, I can't think of anything. What are you going to school or doing work or whatever?
Yeah, I've been working, but I'm leaving work to go do a bachelor's degree, starting in 2 weeks. So, given my notice in, and at the end of this month, I'm done from work, and then I'm going to be doing a bachelor of criminology and criminal law.
Do you want to be a police officer or like an attorney or?
Yeah, something in that field.
Gotcha.
I was originally a just for lack of a better reference, computer science dropout. And then I worked IT jobs for the last 2 years. And I'm like, well, the only reason why I thought I liked IT was because I liked games, but apparently it's not for me. So I'm getting into something else.
Wow.
I'll come back and argue something good with you, and I'm a PhD, all right?
Yeah, sure thing.
Have you ever been to Australia?
Never.
You should come. You should come and do fuck all. And all the clubs close at 1:30. That's what you should do.
Maybe.
It's a fucking bad nanny state here. There's a lot of restrictions on things. You can't enter a club after 1:30. No shots after 11 p.m. I think, and shit like that.
Holy fuck.
And it's ridiculously
Mimi?
restraining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really memey. You don't drink, do you?
No, not really, no.
What's the Americans' obsession? I don't know whether it was just the advertising thing at the time, but when I was in Vegas, they were advertising gin everywhere. Is gin a really big drink there, or is it just a one-off advertising?
It's probably just a one-off. Yeah, probably just a one-off. I think we drink all sorts of shit here. I think, right?
By the way, the quality of your food over there is really bad.
You're probably eating at pretty bad restaurants. I mean, it depends on where you go.
Not really. The worst thing I ate when I was there was Applebee's in New York.
Yeah, Applebee's is probably one of our lower tier restaurants, like barely a step above fast food.
All of America's meat is locally grown. You don't import any of it, do you?
There are some that's imported, but I mean, you can find locally grown, sure.
Yeah, I had a really bad stomach for the whole time I was there. And then as soon as I got back to Australia and I ate for a couple of days, I came good. But
I mean, oftentimes the bacteria that's available in different countries will lead you to get sick if you're traveling. It's a really common thing I've heard.
yeah, that's true. But then I did go to a doctor beforehand because I've got sinus issues and whatnot. And obviously sitting on a plane for 14 hours can cause some trouble with that. And he said that traveling to the US is like traveling interstate.
What does that mean?
It's safe to do.
Well, yeah, you're not going to die here or anything, yeah?
This is the cutest date that I have
Oh,
ever
fucking
witnessed.
when you guys got concealed carry
Bonus
shit, I don't
me,
fucking
that's the
know.
senpai.
Could die.
Yeah, you guys still kill each other with guns over there.
Yeah, but we can marginalize people because it's only people from one race that really have all the gun violence here.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same in the United States. Just don't go to the really black parts and you'll probably be fine.
If I was to come back to the US next year, where should I go? Tell me.
I mean, New York is a pretty good place to go. I don't know. Go to Vegas. What are you gonna do? Do you want to see cool sights? You could go to like the Rocky Mountains or some shit.
Yeah, I'm interested in like landscape for my second trip back because I when I went there last time, I did LA, Dallas, Vegas, New York. So
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like traveling that much, so I don't see anything when I go anywhere. So I'm a bad person to ask. Oh, some people in chat are saying you can go to Yosemite.
Yosemite.
Oh yeah.
That's in California, isn't it?
It might be. You can go to Hollywood and see all the movie stars.
I went to Universal Studios and that was like boring as fuck for me.
You don't like the rides or anything?
Oh, they just don't do anything for me. It's just not exciting, really.
Sure.
Yes, it's in California by the looks of it. I'm trying to look for the place that we ate at when we were there.
Where did you said you went to New York? Dude, you could have went and gotten some real food. I don't know why you went to Applebee's. That's kind of strange.
I didn't eat once in New York, Destiny. Fuck me.
What? I thought you said you went to Applebee's.
Yeah, once. That was probably the worst I had there.
Why didn't you get like pizza?
Me and
Isn't
my
that like a big thing?
girlfriend
New
just
York
broke
pizza?
up just now. It was a year and
Yeah,
few
I had
months.
a pizza when I was in New York.
I don't
it
feel
was
anything
decent,
now, but I feel it's going to hit
but I'm
later.
just saying, like the general
Any
quality or
suggestions?
standards or
Bonus
whatever
meme,
just
fellas.
seemed a lot less.
Oh,
Like I wouldn't have paid $20 for that pizza in Australia. Put it that way.
what, you're saying it would have been cheaper in Australia?
Yes, for that quality.
I don't know if I believe
That's-
you. Shit is really
that-
expensive where you live.
That's like what I got at the place in New York, pizza wise, is like comparable to like a Pizza Hut or a Domino's.
I don't know.
But because you guys actually put sugar in your Maccas over there, McDonald's, things at Macca's obviously tasted better.
Huh.
Here in Australia, our McDonald's doesn't have restrictions, but we've got a lot of differences compared to yours.
Sure.
I'm just looking at the map now of the flight from Sydney to LA. I can't believe I actually sat on the plane for that long.
How long is that flight?
It was 14 and a half hours.
Oh, Jesus fuck.
You've been to Germany. How long was the flight from wherever you took off from to Germany?
I want to say it's 12. I think I flew out of, I don't even remember. Reagan International, maybe? The Northeast. I think going from west to east, I think it's a 12-hour flight. And then east to west, I think it's an 8-hour flight. To Amsterdam. Well, hold on. Let me check. I don't actually know. From Reagan to Amsterdam. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. These spellings. 10 hours, 11 hours, 11, 13 hours. Yeah. So maybe 10, maybe 11 hours about?
Approximately the same. Are you a good flyer or not?
Yeah, I have a very special talent in that I can sleep anywhere. No matter what.
Fucking
So I
lucky you.
sleep. Hell yeah, dude. And I'm short as... How tall? Are you tall?
6'1".
Yeah, I'm 5'7", so I can fit anywhere. I just sleep, and it's a good fucking meme, dude. Traveling is so easy.
Fuck, dude. I'll send you some phone books so you can sit in your GTI properly then.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I would send you something so you could fit in the plane, but I guess you're always going to be condemned to being uncomfortable as fuck and running into other people's seats. I really do. I don't know what I would do. If I was somebody that couldn't sleep while I traveled, I would probably kill myself. Like, I'm not sure. That seems like it would be the worst thing in the world. To stay awake and sit down in one spot for like 12 hours without being able to sleep through it. Oof.
That was only my third time on a plane, my flight to the US. So the night before, I was nervous as fuck. So I didn't sleep. I did zero sleep. And then I stayed up for that 14-hour flight. Didn't sleep 1 second through it. And then when we got to LA, we had a connecting flight to Dallas, which was another 3 hours, I believe. And then had to wait 2 hour stopover in LAX to Dallas, so I didn't sleep for something ridiculous like 40 something hours.
Oh, jeez. What'd you come to the U.S. for?
21st. That's why I went there
For the what?
for my birthday.
Oh, did you travel with any friends or anything, or?
I went with my sister and my brother-in-law
Oh.
because they've been back. They've been there heaps of times.
Wait, your wife didn't go with you?
I don't have a wife, dude. I'm 22. What the fuck?
Oh. Wait, what? Oh, brother-in-law, sister's husband's brother. Right? No, sister's
Yeah,
husband.
sister's husband.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I'm my sister's brother, just to clarify.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, that's so weird. So a brother-in-law could be a sibling's husband, or it could be your married person's brother.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I never even considered that before. Holy fuck.
Changed your life, dude. You don't
Yeah.
have to think.
Now I don't even know what is a brother-in-law, dude. That's some crazy ass shit. Damn.
Have you been to Canada before?
No, actually I haven't. That's kind of weird. I guess I haven't been to Canada. I'll go someday, I'm sure.
Doesn't really look like there's a lot to do there.
Yeah, Vancouver or Toronto would probably be cool places to go, just to hang out, just to say you've been there, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. Sorry if this conversation seems very fragmented or whatnot, but that Glink guy, just because we fucking brought him up and I was like scrolling through his YouTube channel, he's got a video there and I've watched it. It's about half an hour long, talking about.
Uh-oh.
It's not about you. He's saying that there's like an unproportionate amount of people that have got depression, anxiety, and all that do streaming and whatnot. And like, since you've been one of the streamers that's been around for a really, really long time, do you have any sort of like input as to why that might be overrepresented in the streaming community?
I really can't speak to it. I really can't. I don't think I deal with any of those issues, so I can't really speak to it. I'm not sure. Maybe people that are depressed are more likely to be drawn to gaming, and people that are drawn to gaming are more likely to be streaming. So maybe, I don't know. That would be a guess. I'm not sure. You probably need a special type of like to stream for long hours, to sit in a room and to be all alone and to not have like physical contact. These are things that normal people might also be uncomfortable with. But if you're very introverted or depressed, maybe it's easier to handle that. It's just conjecture. I don't know.
Did it ever fuck with your psyche?
No, I'm a very, 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 I very much value my alone time. I'm a very independent person, so I function well without contact. I'm very okay with it.
We don't all play games to fill a void. Yeah, dude. So I want you to take a guess at what am I doing? Am I pissing or am I filling up a cup of water? What am I doing, Destiny?
Filling up a cup of water, 100%.
Why aren't I pissing?
Because I know you're not.
Well, you got me.
Yeah, I know I did. When you fill up a glass of water, the pitch changes because of the reverberation inside, or the resonance inside, because as you fill it, there's more and more water, so what's vibrating increases.
Rip Club Penguin, October 24th, 2005 to March 29th, 2017. Rip
That's
my
deep,
Club
dude. That's
Penguin
really
account.
deep.
That's 10.
What is this retarded shit? I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry. When you start to fill up a cup in water, the reason why the volume, or why the pitch of the thing changes, why it goes woo or whatever, why it increases, is because you're decreasing the amount of space inside the glass where it can resonate. If you were pissing, that pitch wouldn't change very much, right? Because you're not filling up an entire toilet bowl. You're not changing the total amount of shit available, right? But when it's a little glass, you're changing the amount of total space very quickly, so the pitch changes much more rapidly, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I was a music major, remember? That's what I did in school.
Have you ever thought about with music? Do you have sort of a do you have an emphasis on creating your own pieces, or are you sort of like that musician, more of a session musician? That's the word.
Um,
Supporting someone else or creating your own.
oh no, I did. Have you ever heard of my composition challenges?
The only thing I've heard that you've played is you did a Zelda cover, I think.
Oh
On
god, that's when I used to play. I don't play as much anymore. I really regret it. I can kind of mess around on the piano, um, but no, I make little. I'll make little musical ideas and then I give it to my community and have them remix it. Is what I do. They're called composition challenges.
Well, that little noise you made before that, wah, that's my new message tone, dude. Thank you very much.
Nice. Oh, somebody's correct. You could have been pissing into a glass, and I wouldn't have been able to guess that.
Yeah, that is true as well.
Yep, there you go, dude.
Do you still have the no Athene policy?
Yeah, kind of. All right, listen, dude. I'm really fucking hungry. I need to get food, okay? Or I'm gonna die.
Yes, same. I was literally about to say same. I need to fucking eat. It's dinner time here.
What Oh yeah, it's probably around what 6 o'clock over there. 6:30.
It's 5:30.
Oh, 5:30. Okay.
All right,
Gotcha.
Destiny. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. I appreciate the conversation.
No worries. Hey, man.
All right, have fun, dude. I'll see you later. Rip Club Penguin, October 2005 to March. Oh, Club Penguin is shutting down? Rip my Club Penguin account. That's 10-year-old sleep nice. 10-year-old sleep tight, sweet prince. Let's get some F's in chat to pay respect. Oh, rip. I had some professional suggestions based on... Fuck off, Azza. I don't want to hear anything. If you have some real memes for my camera setup, sure, you can donate. I'll be changing up my lighting somewhat soon. I'm still waiting to get this fucking Chase card now. I sent the application in today finally because I had that form from the IRS and everything. Once I get my actual Chase business credit card and my business name, I'm probably going to be changing my lighting setup quite a bit. Changing to an actual 3-point lighting setup instead of kind of the random shit that I have right now. Which is just really 2 soft boxes. Also cleaning up the wall behind me to give a little bit of interest between the background and the foreground to make it so that, because right now, like, I have a focal length set on my camera, obviously, right? But the focal length doesn't really matter because there's not much going on in the background, so it doesn't really even do much, right? One of the biggest things in setting focal length is when you blur out the background, it creates more contrast and focus on the front, but like my background sucks right now too. Like, yeah, I'll take it a little bit more seriously once I get that card and my business name and everything all sorted out. LOL, what? Who cares? I don't know. Does anybody really care? It's just little memes. It's nice to have good quality shit, so your shit looks good. Did I get the Chase Sapphire Reserve? No, I think that's only a personal card. I'm trying to get the Chase Ink for my business. I have a Chase Ink personally, but I want to get the Chase Ink in the name of my business. Because you need to have a separation between your business accounts and your personal accounts. And I need to get... I already have the American Express in the business name, but the Chase people wanted me to mail them in a fucking letter proving my address and shit. So now I'm waiting on that. Oh, wait, I was going to watch this. Hold on.
You have to watch out because people will be asking you to do things you just need to say no about. Do you think the Attorney General has a responsibility to say no to the President if he asks for something that's improper? A lot of people have defended the Lynch nomination, for example, by saying, well, he appoints somebody who's going to execute his views. What's wrong with that? But if the views the president wants to execute are unlawful, should the Attorney General or the Deputy Attorney General say no?
Senator, I believe that the Attorney General or the Deputy Attorney General has an obligation to follow the law and the Constitution and to give their independent legal advice to the president.
Oh my god, dude. What a fucking backbone. What a fucking backbone, dude. God damn. This was 8 years ago? Was it 8 years? I don't know how long the Attorney General... Oh, is it 2015? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no idea how long Attorney General serves. Is it a yearly thing, or is it like after some amount of years, or... Attorney General is... Who in chat knows it? Wait, is this light on? Wait, this isn't on. Wait, why is this... That one's on, right? And that one... Oh, now that one is on. Wait, that one is on. This one is off. Oh, I know why. Because I'm retarded as fuck. There we go. It's not a position with a fixed term length. Gotcha. Destiny, you misunderstood. Sally Yates got fired because she refused Muslim and she got fired by Trump yesterday. Yeah? Wait, what am I misunderstanding? That's why I retweeted it. Because she stood by what she said there to Trump. She said that she believes that the Attorney General should stand up to the president if they do something unlawful, which is exactly what she did. Did you notice the dude who was asking the question in the video? Yeah, it was Jeff Sessions, wasn't it? Who's going to be Trump's new little bitch boy? The State Department is now leaking their drafts of the memos decrying Trump. State Department dissent memo published condemning Trump's Muslim ban as counterproductive. Summary, we were writing to register our dissent to the state... Oh, from. The sent channel message from. Writing to register dissent to the State Department's implementation of President Trump's Friday, January 27th executive order on protecting the nation from foreign terrorist entry into the United States, which, among other things, blocks the department... Nice. This ban does not achieve its aims and will likely be counterproductive. I mean, the CIA said as much, right? This ban, which can only... Or, well, people from the CIA. This ban, which can only be lifted under conditions which will be difficult or impossible for countries to meet, will not achieve its stated aim to protect the American people from terrorist attacks by foreign nationals. Order focus on them. A vanishingly small number of terror attacks in U.S. soil have been committed by foreign nationals who recently entered the United States on immigrant or non-immigrant visa, rather than which are native-born or naturalized U.S. citizens, individuals who have been living in the United States. Damn. If this ban will not prevent terror attacks from occurring, what will it do? It will immediately sour relations with these 6 countries, as well as much of the Muslim world, which sees the ban as religiously motivated. Where is X kills me? I guess everybody is stupid, huh? These governments of these countries are important allies and partners in the fight against terrorism regionally and globally. By alienating them, we lose access to the intelligence. Oh, hold on. I'll send this to my mom, even though she won't read it. It will increase anti-American sentiment. When the 220 million citizens of those countries lose the opportunity to travel to the U.S. overnight, hostility towards the U.S. will grow. Instead of building bridges to these societies through formal outreach and exchanges through informal people-to-people contact, we send the message that we consider all nationals of these countries to be an unacceptable security risk. Almost 1/3 of these countries' combined populations are children under the age of 15. There is no question that their perception of the United States will be heavily colored by this ban It will have an immediate and clear humanitarian impact. Every day, foreign nationals come to the United States to seek medical treatment for a child with a rare heart condition, to attend a parent's funeral, or to help a relative. Oh, you can't travel to the United States for like medical care. If you have like a rare medical problem or whatever, huh? You wouldn't be able to come to the United States. For citizens of these countries, a blanket ban on travel will not just ruin vacation plans, but potentially cut off access to life-saving medical. I didn't even consider that. While the executive order allows for the Secretary of State of the Secretary of Homeland or Secretary of Homeland Security to admit travelers from these countries on a case-by-case basis, it is unrealistic to think that this will be feasible to implement for the thousands of aliens with urgent and compelling needs to travel. And will have a negative impact on the U.S. economy. According to the Department of Commerce, foreign travelers collectively injected about $250 billion in the U.S. economy in 2015 alone, supporting over 1 million American jobs. Foreign students alone contribute more than $30 billion to the U.S. economy. Preventing travelers from these 6 countries from spending their money in the U.S. will immediately decrease the amount. More perniciously, this ban can be expected to cause an overall drop in traveler dollars as the U.S. quickly sheds its welcoming, secure borders, open doors reputation. The end result of this ban will not be a drop in terror attacks in the United States. Rather, it will be a drop in international goodwill towards Americans and a threat to our economy. We are better than this ban. This ban stands in opposition to the core American and constitutional values that we as federal employees took an oath to uphold. Who wrote this? God damn. The United States is a nation of immigrants starting from its very origins. The concept that immigrants and foreigners are welcome is an essential element of our society, our government, and our foreign policy. So too is the concept that we are all equal under the law, and that we as a nation abhor discrimination, whether it is based on race, religion, sex, or national origin. Combined together, that means we have a special obligation to maintain an immigration system that is as free as possible from discrimination. This does not have implied or actual religious tests, and that views individuals as individuals, not as part of stereotyped groups. The executive order frames the ban as a 90-day suspension of entry for these nationals until their countries can set up arrangements to provide adequate information to determine that an individual seeking seeking a benefit is who the individual claims to be and is not a security or public safety threat. This is a high, vague, and nebulous bar. In some cases, the governments of these countries may be wholly incapable of providing this information. In others, the government may be unwilling. In either case, individual citizens will pay the price, a situation which runs counter to U.S. values of fair play and offering equal opportunities to all. State Department dissent memo. Is this actually legit? Fuck. I didn't stop and ask that. Mike's man posted it, so I'm assuming it is. I can't believe. What a fucking cuck. Isn't there a line of succession? He was really able to just appoint another chair? What? I thought he's not allowed to do that. Don't they have to approve those people? Multiple people are trusted with running it. So do we know anything about who the shooter was? Oh, the suspect isn't Moroccan nor Muslim. The Moroccan individual named Mohammed Belkladar was actually one of the worshippers at the mosque and called 911 to summon the police and played no role. The actual shooting suspect is 27-year-old Alexandre Bissonnet? I don't know how to pronounce this. A white French-Canadian who is, by all appearances, a rabid anti-immigrant nationalist. A leader of a local immigration rights group, Francois, I don't know how to pronounce this, told local paper recognized his photo as an anti-immigrant far-right troll who has been hostile to the group online.